Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and today we're going to do something a little different. Many of these particular rations have been reviewed before, but I don't think anything in a comparative sense has been done for these two particular rations, so I thought I'd do them together as they are a natural progression from one to the other. And what do we have? We have a Food Packet Survival ST-2, but we also have a Food Packet Survival ST-3. So what these are obviously survival rations for the United States military. Obviously I don't have an ST-1, but this particular one is from January of 1952. And this one, there's no date on it, but this ST-2 should be somewhere in the 1950, 1951 range. So these are obviously from the Korean War era. This is ST, so that means Survival Tropic. Also, they would have had an SA ration, so that would have been a Survival Arctic. Eventually, over a period of time, they get rid of the two separate ones and then come up with what's called a Food Packet Survival General Purpose, which usually would come in either a metal can, almost look like a Spam can. Eventually, it turns into a sort of a small cardboard box like we have today, and they're still made today. They have sort of concentrated food bars like cereal bars and oatmeal, shortbread, things like that. You can see the ingredients on the outside of these ones. Jelly bars, coffee, tea, gum, sugar, cigarettes, matches. This one here is just food bars, beverages, water purification tablets, and instruction pamphlets. So one of the biggest changes, obviously, is that there's cigarettes in the ST-2, and by the time we get to the ST-3, the next iteration, they've gotten rid of cigarettes. And just a few sort of stylistic changes, that's all. But it says on both of these, this packet contains food for 3 men for 1 day, or for 1 man for 3 days. So these normally would have been issued to people like air crew. You get shot down, you don't know when you're going to either be rescued or if you're going to be rescued at all. And hopefully, if you're good at rationing out your food, this package should be enough to get you through for 3 days. At least get you to survive. Obviously, it's a survival ration. You're not gonna have an abundance of calories, but it's going to be just enough to get you through. So, the quality of these are obviously a little bit different. The ST-3 looks like it's in just absolutely fantastic shape. No bulging whatsoever. A little dent here on this side, but otherwise, it's not that bad. The ST-2 is in slightly worse shape. A few scuffs and dings and whatnot. But the keys are still present in both, and they don't feel too bad. This one feels like it's not quite as flat as the ST-3, but we'll find out. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the keys off, we're going to open both of these, and we're going to see what major differences exist between the ST-2 and the ST-3, what changes they made over time, and obviously we know the cigarettes are going to be gone, but the actual food items inside, have any of those changed over that small period of time? So we'll be back in 1 second. So we're just going to open up our ST-2 first. Got our key ready, see if we can get a hiss. No hiss. Yeah, the rest of that doesn't want to open. We'll have to use a screwdriver or a pair of pliers or something like that. So this is our ST-2. We'll pop the top on it and see what everything looks like inside. Ooh, yeah, that doesn't look very good at all. But we'll just lay that aside for now. Eventually, we'll get our tray out and we'll sort of lay both of these out. That looks like that. Let's see if the quality of the can has any sort of bearing on the quality of the ingredients inside. So. Lift that tab up. See if we can get a hiss from this one. There was a little bit of a vacuum. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess we'll find out. This one already has a smell to it, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And here's our ST-3. So we've got our food packet and what looks to be some very weird jelly bars. And this almost looks like black mold or something like that. So that's not a very good sign. So as you can see, we just removed the instruction sheet. When it comes to color, these look completely different, but the actual quality, these all seem very, very puffy, which doesn't give me a good feeling. But some of the ingredients appear to be the same, and well, there's obviously a few changes otherwise. So what we're going to do, we're going to get some of this stuff out onto a tray, and we're going to give stuff a try if some of the things appear to be at least edible. Okay, so here's everything laid out, guys, and basically the ST-3 items are everything along this line here, and then the ST-2 items are everything along this line here. I tried to break it up as best I can. There are some minor stylistic changes, I guess. Obviously, the most, blatant change is the fact that the jelly bars don't look anything at all like they're supposed to be. The packaging is different. The way they have the lettering on jelly bars as opposed to jelly bars is completely different. These have oxidized horribly. These at least look like the color they're supposed to be, but they've actually puffed up. I'll show you. They have all these sort of like indentations, almost as if they've liquefied a little bit, and to actually touch them, they're still incredibly squishy. They're softer than they should be, actually. And they have a very strange smell coming off them, so I don't really feel very good about that. They were sitting right on top of these multivitamins. I don't know if the multivitamins have gone bad. You can see they've liquefied somewhat. Some of that, some of like the B vitamins sort of leached in. But yeah, it doesn't look very good. And they don't smell very good either, so I don't really have very high hopes for trying those. And some of them appear to be puffed up a lot. Like, look at that. Some of them have the little black cardboard at the bottom, like this. And then these don't. And as you can see, they've really sort of increased in size, which doesn't bode well. I don't really feel like I want to be able to eat those, or at least even try them. As you can see with these ones here, these have really oxidized. We'll open up one pack just to see what they're like when you sort of take the plastic away, because this plastic does take on a kind of a yellowish hue anyway. This is old cellophane, so it's a little brittle. And yeah, they're just black. And they smell horrible. They're very wet. Yeah, that's not good. I'm not trying those. What else do we have? We've got soluble tea product, but as you can hear, it is rock solid inside. I tried to do the same thing with the coffee, and the coffee was so hard and crystallized that in the process of just trying to knead it a little bit, it actually split through the packaging. So yeah, that's toast. You get a little tiny small bottle of Halzone tablets as a water purifier. We get 2 packs of cigarettes. I assume these are going to be 4 cigarettes in each pack. So we got a pack of Camels and a pack of Philip Morris's. These look like they're in great shape. Obviously, I don't know. I don't really know much of anything about cigarettes. I don't smoke. And no one really in my family does as well. So these look like they're in pretty good shape. So I'll at least be able to keep those as like a collector's item. Get 2 little packs of matches. Notice, mosquito bites cause malaria. If you're in a malaria zone, keep your shirt on, your sleeves rolled down. This doesn't want to focus. Use mosquito repellent when outdoors between sunset and sunrise. And lastly, we've got some Domino sugar cubes. These should be perfectly fine, but Domino sugar, or just sugar cubes themselves, always seem to hold up well. And lastly, we've got some gum. We got 3 packs with 2 briquettes each of Tops peppermint gum. As you can see there, peppermint mint coated. And then when we switch over to the ST-3, so we're only looking at like maybe a year and a half difference between this particular survival ration and this one. We still have top scum. They've changed the packaging slightly during that period of time. It's still top peppermint, but it seems like a little bit more commercial. You know, it's got the "It's refreshing" sort of tagline, all that kind of stuff. We got our Domino sugar cubes, which are exactly the same as before, 4 of those. Got a bottle of water purification tabs. This time, though, they are iodine tablets, and they're waxed to seal them. And like I said, we've got our jelly bars. It's the same idea. We've got a cherry, a lemon, a lime, and an orange. And I'm not gonna try these. They're, for something that's as old as it is, these are far too wet and far too squishy. And I don't have a good feeling about them. The one thing that we may be able to try out of all of this is the coffee and the tea from the ST-3. So the soluble tea product in this actually doesn't feel that bad. We might give that a try. And even the soluble coffee may be good. We'll see. So I got two hot cups for water. Just move our tin a little bit. And we're going to try one of each. So we're going to try our soluble coffee, and we'll try our tea from at least the ST-3. Nope, never mind. That's basically just like tar. That's the only way to describe that. It's not actually a powder anymore. So yeah, that's gone. We'll try our soluble tea product. And our tea has crystallized as well. It's liquefied and then crystallized. Sort of almost looks like molasses or brown sugar. So yeah, that's not good. I guess just for the sake of trying it, we'll see what one of our soluble tea products from the ST-2 is like. Doesn't feel quite as bad as the coffee. It's the same idea. It's just crystallized. It's liquefied and then crystallized. So yeah, pretty much none of this is edible. I don't really want to try the jelly bars, which are black. You can't even discern what the various flavors would have been. Sometimes these at least still keep a little hint of what their previous color had been, but these don't want to show that at all. And those ones are perfectly vibrant, but there's just something about them that doesn't seem right. I'll open one pack just to assuage my curiosity, but I don't have high hopes. Yeah, they've taken on the smell of the old multivitamins. Yeah, they're actually wet to the touch, which doesn't seem right to me. So guys, I'm sorry this hasn't been much of a review. I don't really want to crack open the gum just for the sake of trying it. I'm sure these are somewhat of a collector's item, so I'd like to try to keep those as well as I can. Obviously, I'll keep the tins that they come in as well, but most of this, well, pretty much all of it is completely inedible. This is a thing that can happen from time to time when reviewing things that are very vintage, especially these two, which are from the Korean War era. Sometimes you're just going to get stuff that either through storage or just through the passage of time does not last well. And sometimes you open up these ST or SA rations. The SAs actually don't usually last as well as the STs do. The SA rations sometimes have like concentrated cheese bars and things like that, and they go horribly wrong. So at least with the STs, if you can get one that's been stored well, and the jelly bars are fine, then everything should be okay. From one of my previous ration reviews, the Canadian Food Packet Survival, #1, the jelly bars in that were perfectly okay. And they were from around the same time period as this ST-3. So you never can tell how this stuff's going to turn out. It's kind of disappointing that I really don't get to try a whole lot. Obviously, I don't smoke, and I don't intend to smoke. I'm not gonna smoke in the house either. So I'm not really gonna try the cigarettes. I just know that they're there, and I've got like a friend who likes something like that or whatever, but I'll just keep them as a collector's item. So guys, this has been a look at, it's been a disappointing look comparatively at an ST-2 ration and an ST-3 ration from the United States military from the Korean War era. Hopefully, for the next video I'm going to do, when I get a chance to come back, is something that's going to be at least edible and something that isn't in as bad a shape as this is. So I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by, and have a good one.